The ceremony will now come to order. Good evening. I'm Provost Sunil Kumar. I'm honored to serve as Chief Marshal for this convocation ceremony. At this time, we welcome to the lectern Alison Cuesta, representing the new student orientation team.
Thank you. Please welcome two of JHU's a cappella groups, the Sirens and the All-Nighters, performing the national anthem.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Good evening, everyone. New students, welcome to your new home. As Provost Kumar mentioned, my name is Alison Cuesta, and I am the Outreach Coordinator for the Office of Orientation and First Year Experience. By now, many of you have probably come to know me as Alison Cuesta, parentheses, current student, as I and other students answered your questions in the new student Facebook groups. Over the past few months, the orientation team, your first year mentors, countless faculty and staff, as well as student volunteers, have dedicated thousands of hours of hard work to make this past week possible. We have been sending you newsletters, scheduling speakers, presentations, and events, guiding difficult discussions, learning an unimaginable number of icebreakers, helping you all move into your new campus homes, and so much more. We truly cannot thank each and every person enough for their contributions to your orientation experience. As we reflect on our past week together, many of your first nights spent on campus, maybe even the first time you set foot on campus, we come together to share some of our first Hopkins memories. Orientation is not only a time to learn the ins and outs of our university, but perhaps more importantly, it is time to form new connections. And these new connections are the individual threads that join together to form a tightly knit community. My hope is that this past week has been a time shared with the people around you. I hope that when you look back on your first few days at Hopkins, you remember not only the highs and the lows, but also the people you were with and the impact that they had on you. Because every person in this room is here for you. The faculty and staff, your peers, and your mentors will challenge and support you during your time here at Hopkins. You may face obstacles that, at first glance, seem insurmountable. It is in these moments that I welcome you to turn to a friend, to a floor mate, to a professor, really to anybody, and say the three magical, life-changing words, "I need help." We hope that this week you have learned how many people are in your support network and how ready they are to be there, to listen, and to help you grow during your years here. While orientation has been packed full of information and resources, we cannot teach you everything that you will need to know in order to thrive at Hopkins. Asking for help does not mean that you are weak or that you are unable to achieve your own success. Rather, it says that you would prefer a little company along the way. With that in mind, I want to let you all know that no matter who you are, who you become, or wherever you go, you will always have Hopkins to call home because you are forever. At this time, it is my honor to introduce Noh Mabratu, the Student Government Association Executive President.
Good evening. Hello, how's everyone doing? Woo! It is my honor to welcome our new students. Congratulations, you're all officially Blue Jays. Many of you have come to Hopkins for various reasons. However, all of you have one aspect in common, that you're all intelligent and deserving of being here. Now, when I reflect back on my first year, there are many things I learned through experience that I wish to share with all of you as my advice. First is to be adventurous. The Hopkins experience is not just Brody and the FFC, but also Baltimore. Take the Jimmy with your friends. Go to Inner Harbor, downtown, and experience the wonders the city has to offer you. Second is to find a balance and get ahead. It is really easy to fall behind on your academics, especially when you're juggling multiple extracurriculars. Learn to find a happy medium. Do your homework when assigned and study weeks ahead for your exams, since they somehow always end up happening within 24 hours of each other. Third is to look for research and internships early. Even if you don't have experience like when I started, you have a good chance in getting one. There is enough for all of you, so do not be discouraged. And finally, when you're sitting across a Nobel laureate in an appointment lab meeting for the first time, do not be afraid at the big words they are throwing around. Scream mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell and you're good. Just nod as if you understand them. My last piece of advice, and I believe the most important of them all, is to not be complacent. I'm pretty sure most of you, know about the story of Icarus and Daedalus and how they escaped the maze prison by flying using wings that Daedalus created. Now, the story of Icarus teaches us about the trap of hubris. Daedalus warns Icarus to not fly too high, for the sun would burn down the wax, and he will surely fall down to his death. Ninth grade English class, you all definitely heard this. However, what you might have forgotten and what people tend to not say as much is the full quote, and that goes, the full quote goes, "Do not fly too high up to the sky, for the sun will burn down the wax. But more importantly, do not fly too low, for the mist will clog your wings, and you will surely perish." This second piece warns us about the biggest trap of them all, complacency. Complacency is the killer of dreams and adventure. Say yes to trying different possibilities and opportunities. Force yourself out of your comfort zone, because that is the only way for you to grow. Based on my experience, I was never in a leadership position back in my high school, never in a debate club, so couldn't speak well, had a stutter. But through sheer effort and placing myself in uncomfortable situations, I feel I've gotten better, I hope. And, here we are. So, in conclusion, explore, grow, for it is better to try and fail than to never try at all. New Blue Jays. New Blue Jays. Fly high. It is now my pleasure to introduce Bahija Jalal, a member of the university's Board of Trustees.
He was afraid to butcher my name, but he did very well. You have to tell him. Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I'm pleased to welcome you, the class of 2022, to Johns Hopkins University. It was a short 3 years ago that I sat in this very room watching as my daughter, Layla, was about to begin her college journey. While I already knew much about Hopkins, I began to look at it with the critical eye of a parent about to send her daughter away to college. And I wasn't disappointed. And like me, you probably already know quite a lot about your chosen university. You know that Hopkins is one of the world's finest universities. You know that you are among a very select group of students who have been admitted and chosen to study here. You know that it's Johns with an S, Hopkins. But there are also some things you may not know about your university. Hopkins was the first research university in the United States. Hopkins, this past year, the men's Blue Jays lacrosse team made it into the quarterfinals of the NCAA tournament, and the women's cross-country team was the NCAA champion. I'll give them applause. And my favorite fun fact is that there are a series of steam tunnels running under the Homewood campus. In the 90s, a rumor circulated that mutant rabbits occupied the tunnels under the physics buildings. So watch out for those rabbits. So looking over your collective achievements, I was impressed by your extraordinary passions, contributions, and determination. By all accounts, you are an extremely talented and hardworking group. President Daniels, your deans, and all the trustees look forward to all that you will accomplish, not just throughout the next 4 years at Johns Hopkins, but over the course of your lives. For a class with big ambitions, you have come to the right place. There are few universities in the world like Johns Hopkins. Here you will have the resources and opportunities to accomplish whatever you want. Over the next 4 years, we encourage you to take full advantage of the intellectual life here at Hopkins. Engage with the outstanding professors who are thought leaders in their disciplines. Take advantage of the hundreds of courses that will challenge and fascinate you. Embrace the opportunity to engage in original research, lectures, events, and conferences that explore pressing global and local issues, and of course, gain knowledge from one another. Some of you may know exactly what you want to study, while others of you may not know where this journey will lead you. Either way, we want you to leave your time at Johns Hopkins with no regrets. Take risks, try new and different experiences. While it might feel scary, we all learn from our failures as much as we do from our successes. We know too that preparing for the rest of your life is about more than just your academic pursuit. So have fun. This means learning to take care of yourself too. Make time to visit the rec center, get a good night's sleep, spend those dining dollars on healthy food, and ask for help when you need it. Enjoy social activities, and establish relationships. One of the most important things you will do here is make friendships that will last a lifetime. Engage with the community and give back. Whether it is here in Baltimore or somewhere around the globe, your involvement will make a difference. President Daniels has made the community engagement a key priority of the university, and that's one of the reasons I am proud to be a trustee here. Use your many talents to help others. You will find meaning in being a part of a cause that is larger than yourself. With all that you will learn during your time at Hopkins, when you cross the stage at commencement and receive your Hopkins degree, you will be prepared to make an impact in our world. Again, I'm delighted to welcome you as the newest members of the Hopkins family, and wish you the best as you begin your Hopkins journey. I look forward to seeing which one of you here will be Hopkins' newest Nobel laureate. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to invite Phillips to the podium, please.
On behalf of the whole admission staff, welcome newest Blue Jays to the Johns Hopkins community. Welcome. Yeah. So welcome to our first year students, and welcome to those of you who transferred in from other colleges and universities. Yeah. Between our first year and transfer students, there are nearly 1,400 of you about to formally enter the university, coming from many different places and representing many different cultures, identities, and perspectives. You are humanists, engineers, social scientists, and natural scientists. You are from every region of this country, 47 out of the 50 states, and almost 70 countries around the world. Some of you are the first in your family to attend college, and others grew up right here in Baltimore with Hopkins as your backyard. Your interests outside of the classroom are equally varied. You are artists, musicians, politicians, social justice advocates, athletes, researchers. You study cultures, languages, religions, and you pursue your intellectual interests outside of the classroom. You are contributors to your households, taking care of loved ones who may have trouble taking care of themselves, or pitching in to do your part for your family. With all your varied backgrounds and interests, there are important commonalities, though, that connect you. Certainly as a group, you consistently demonstrated an amazing level of academic accomplishment and passion. But what's really noteworthy is that all the activities and interests I just mentioned demonstrate a sense of connection and a desire to contribute and affect change to improve the world around you. These are the qualities that made you rise up out of the over 30,000 first-year and transfer applications we received this past year, the largest and most competitive ever for both groups. Those qualities, passion for discovery and the desire to make an impact, are a big part of the Johns Hopkins ethos. Your varied and unique expression of those qualities is what makes us so excited to see how much you will develop here and how much you're going to impact Johns Hopkins. And it makes me extremely proud to officially present you to President Ron Daniels. President Daniels, will you please join me at the podium?
This is it.
Yeah. Mr. President, I am pleased to present you, the first-year students who make up the class of 2022, and our transfer students, who are members of the classes of 2020 and 2021. Impassioned in their pursuit of knowledge, leaders in their schools and communities, and a group that will greatly contribute to the Johns Hopkins community, Baltimore, and the world. I look forward to seeing their rise to greatness.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks.
Well, thank you, Vice Provost David Phillips. Thanks, Snow, for your welcome, and to the Archipelago Project, the Sirens, and the All-Nighters for the great performances. And thanks to Alice and the entire orientation team for doing such a truly phenomenal job. And to Trustee Jalal, thank you for being here, for giving so generously to this institution in so many different ways. I think it's probably important, though, that given that she went a little bit off script to talk about those steam tunnels, that we just clarify a few things. The steam tunnels do not connect to the East Baltimore campus. They do not cut across the city. Do not go exploring, trying to find your way to the East Baltimore campus through the steam tunnels. In fact, I would strongly urge you to resist the temptation, despite the off-script remarks of our trustee, I would strongly urge you not to even think about going near and exploring those steam tunnels and where they can take you, because I'm thinking here of those 5 intrepid students no longer with us a few years ago at Johns Hopkins who took the plunge to explore the steam tunnels of the Homewood campus and found their way into our bedroom at Nichols House at 3 o'clock one morning a few years ago. That was not a good moment for them, and it wasn't a good moment for us. So resist the temptation. Now, with that cautionary note, let me, without any further ado, welcome you all, the great class of 2022, to Johns Hopkins University. So, you've just spent your summer taking your leave of friends, of family, of an old identity, the high school class of 2018. And now you've arrived here as a Johns Hopkins class of 2022. I just love addressing you in those terms. I'm going to do it again and again. So you've come to this new place with new norms and new customs, new paths to chart, like how to find the FFC or the J-card office, or even what are all those things? And perhaps more importantly, new people to get to know. Stating the obvious, you may be from New York or Toronto, my hometown, while your roommate is from Idaho or Senegal. You may hail from a city of 9 million, while your roommate is from a small town of 50. You may find that you have exactly the same number of siblings as your roommate, or your family may be entirely unique. And you will see and be reminded of these differences, as well as similarities you share each and every day as you saunter down the hall, across the quad, into the classroom and the lab, and throughout the great city of Baltimore. At every turn, you are becoming a member of our community. And the form and the strength that that membership will take will be determined by the connections that you forge to others who are here with you. In that endeavor, you have already, and no doubt will receive, a lot of advice, much of it unsolicited, from your RAs and your staff, from friends and from family, and of course, from me tonight. So on that mounting heap of unsolicited advice, let me invoke sage counsel, drawn not from Aristotle or Plato or Nietzsche or Nussbaum, but from Adams, as in Amy Adams. In the Oscar-nominated movie Arrival, 12 alien spaceships descend on nations across the planet Earth. Humankind assumes it is confronting an existential threat from a rogue space nation set on universal domination. To defuse the situation, the humans recognize the urgency of communicating with the aliens. At first blush, they don't appear to have much in common. For one thing, it turns out that these visitors are giant squids. And for another, their communication patterns are somewhat idiosyncratic. But the stakes are high. So whom does the government call a PhD linguist, quite naturally? Come on. It could happen that a linguistic major might stand well between the survival of humanity and certain annihilation of our species. This is why the humanities are important. Work with me. I can see you're distracted by the whole steam tunnel thing. So let me tell you, it wasn't 5 students who turned up at our house, it was 4. Okay, to return to the movie. Amy Adams, her character's name is Louise, and her compatriots are dispatched to meet the menacing mollusks for the first time. I worked at that menacing mollusk thing. They enter the foreign ship as a group dressed head to toe in orange spacesuits. They are indistinguishable from one another and breathing like a phalanx of Darth Vaders. In her first gambit as interspecies connection, Louise, in elaborate space garb, steps up and holds up a sign that simply says, human. At which point, one of the aliens shoots out some ink and forms a single circle. Then the communication stalls. Both sides are understandably frustrated and can't quite figure out each other. That's when Louise, the linguist, realizes that something is being lost in translation. They need to see me, she says. Instinctively, Louise understands the conversation will not be possible unless the aliens are able to see and connect with her as an individual in her particularity. So she makes a snap decision to remove her spacesuit and then advance tentatively towards the barrier separating her from the squids. And then she gently intones her name, Louise. And then the two squids respond in kind. Each shoot out a separate, distinctive burst of ink. The aliens have just shared their individual names, and the conversations truly begin. Okay, I know what you're wondering. Why is the president sharing this tale of galactic first encounters and communication challenges at my convocation? Isn't there something more inspiring, more ennobling? Well, taking out the giant squid part, unless one of you have found out something really amazing about your roommate, I posit this story still has some application, some relevance to you. Not just in the sense that at this point Johns Hopkins may seem like a foreign planet populated with strange and intimidating characters, but as Amy Adams and her crew make clear on arrival, because this too is a place where the fundamental but too often elusive tools of authentic conversation and direct dialogue are essential for survival. You chose Johns Hopkins. We chose each other because this is a place committed to discovery, to the advancement of critical thought, and to the creation of new knowledge. A place devoted to the pursuit of ideas, no matter where they take us. A place where those ideas are meant to be discussed and contested. And while you're here, you will in virtually every arena be exposed to new ideas and new perspectives that will challenge you and change how you understand the world and your place within it. Ideas and perspectives that indeed should sometimes unsettle you and make you feel uncomfortable, sometimes deeply uncomfortable. When that happens, know that the feelings of discomfort are a feature, not a bug or a flaw of this academic adventure. You will find and explore new groups to be a part of and continue to evolve on your own individual identity along the way. The ability to communicate, to find one's own voice, to speak in ways that can be heard, and to listen is absolutely indispensable to the academic enterprise and to all that you will do beyond Johns Hopkins. In order to convey clearly your ideas and perspectives and to listen genuinely to the ideas and perspectives of others, you must allow yourself bravely to be seen and heard, even when your views run against the grain. And you must, in turn, afford to others the same or greater opportunity. Because we know well that outlier notions, those seemingly outrageous ideas or claims, are often the ones that unearth deeper truths that can change the world. Think Socrates, think Galileo, think Einstein, the list could go on. And indeed now, the stakes are really high. You are arriving at Johns Hopkins at a profoundly challenging moment for our world, a time of seemingly insurmountable division and distrust, at a time when we unwittingly curate our news feeds to reinforce rather than expand our worldviews, a time when we cluster and sort ourselves not only in cyberspace, but even more so in the real world. As incidents of distrust, of grievance, of anger occur with greater frequency and intensity, the consequences here and abroad grow more and more and more monumental. The deepening of bigotries against racial and sexual minorities, the advocacy of ethnic cleansing in nation states around the globe, the growing acceptance or normalization of extremist or authoritarian governments, and the erosion of trust in institutions devoted to uncovering truth and to finding fact. Our many divisions have dulled our capacity at times to address pressing and difficult issues that in one way or another truly affect us all. We miss seeing that, a pattern that in truth is nowhere more evident than our global community's abject, disastrous failure to grapple seriously with the risks and the realities of climate change. Thankfully, in preparing yourselves over the next 4 years to address our world's most commanding problems, you're not dealing with giant squid aliens. Although, spoiler alert, it turns out that those cellulite squids are more considerate than your average human. You will be dealing with humanity and all its dizzying, confounding, and captivating complexity. And so, my call to you tonight is this: commit yourselves without reservation, without hesitation, without ambivalence, to enter the myriad conversations that daily mark and define this community. Commit yourself to speaking and listening authentically and to reach out across differences as individuals. Defy and deny wearing those stultifying uniforms, those spacesuits of generic categorization and opinion that impede true mutual recognition. As a distinguished philosopher, Anthea Appia, recently urged, speak for yourself first, drawing upon the many facets of your personal identity, experiences, background, and history. Use your authentic voice to ask difficult questions of your peers and your instructors. And yes, even your university president. I'm counting on you. I know you will ask difficult questions of me. And that's all for the good. That's the way it should be. Because doing otherwise risks creating an environment where individuals do not converse with other individuals and conversations stop at sterile, superficial, dissatisfying exchanges. So, on behalf of the many generations of Hopkins members before us, on behalf of the generation of Hopkins people, faculty, students, and staff who are here today, we ask of you, no, we need you to speak courageously and thoughtfully, to listen intently and open-mindedly. We need you to engage, debate, and above all, to problem solve, even or especially with those who may, at first glance, seem to embody all that is different from you. And if you do this, I know that you, the great class of 2022, will have more than requited our confidence, our trust in you. And you will be well on your way to making our world a better place. To the great class of 2022, bon voyage.
Thank you, President Daniels. Will you and David Yaffe, proud member of the class of 1974 and president of Johns Hopkins Alumni Association, come forward for the class banner presentation?
Thank you, No. Before we start, let me bring, on behalf of the 215,000 worldwide alumni of Johns Hopkins University, bring your greetings and their best wishes. We're glad you're here. Class banners are a Johns Hopkins tradition dating back to 1881. The Alumni Association asked the members of the class of 2022 to design a banner that shows your class pride. This year, members of your class submitted banner designs. The class of 2017 voted on its favorite designs, and the final decision was placed in your hands. I'm pleased to announce the winner of the class of 2022 banner was designed by Jimmy Shee. At this time, I would like to call Jimmy and I believe it is Evan, to come to the stage to present the banner for the class of 2022.
On behalf of the class of 2022, I present you with our banner to be hung in the Eisenhower Library at Johns Hopkins.
Thank you, Jimmy. We accept this banner with great anticipation of the very important contributions the members of this class will make in the coming years on campus and off, as students and as members of our alumni family. And as you said, Jimmy, we'll take up the challenge and we will display it proudly here on the campus in the Eisenhower Library. Now, with that, we now have the opportunity to hear from the leaders of the Krieger and Whiting schools who have played an important role in ensuring that you and students before you and here with you receive the absolute finest education with the best possible faculty and every possible support. We'll begin with the great dean of the Krieger School of Arts and Sciences, Beverly Wendland, and she'll be followed by Dean Ed Schlesinger, Dean of the Whiting School of Engineering. So please join me in welcoming Dean Wendland.
Good evening. My name is Beverly Wendland, and I am the Dean of the Krieger School of Arts and Sciences. Woo! On behalf of all of my colleagues and all of our students, I welcome the members of the class of 2022 and our new transfer students to the Johns Hopkins family. We're so glad you're here. You are about to embark on an adventure, one of learning, discovery, opportunity, and exploration. During your time at Hopkins, you will meet new people, some of whom will become lifelong friends, some of them may even become spouses, and you will also encounter new ideas in many broad fields. Yeah, we joke that we sometimes should set up a dating service, but enough of the off script, okay. Whenever I have a chance to speak to seniors who are preparing to graduate, I like to ask them, what would you say to students who are just starting out at Hopkins? And one piece of advice I often hear is, get involved. That doesn't mean just joining a club or an intramural sports team, although I highly recommend doing both of those things. Getting involved means immersing yourselves in the Hopkins experience in a number of ways, such as signing up for a course that is totally outside of your comfort zone. Don't be timid about discovery. Discovery can and usually does happen in unexpected places, and it always involves trial and error, but first you have to try. So, for example, if you think you want to be a chemistry major, sign up for a history class. If you're an English major, sign up for a science course. By getting involved in multiple areas of study, by embracing the opportunity for a true liberal arts education, you will learn how to better engage with the world around you, and you will be exposed to a wide range of research and scholarly opportunities. Venturing into academic areas where, at first, you may not feel comfortable is the best way to broaden your communication skills. Why is that important? Not just to communicate with giant squids. It's because we want you to graduate from Hopkins knowing how to explain complex concepts, both in writing and orally, and perhaps even using video, with success and confidence, not only about your particular field, but about numerous aspects of our diverse and fascinating world. Sharing ideas with one another is what makes us tick here at Johns Hopkins. We are a community of questioners, whether it's poring over an ancient text with a fellow student or examining the results of a scientific experiment with a faculty member. We love to ask questions and explore new possibilities. Fortunately for you, Hopkins has many opportunities and a diverse range of topics to study and research. Let me tell you what some of our students in the School of Arts and Sciences have done and continue to do. Travel to Egypt to work on an archaeological dig. Work in a lab that's dedicated to slowing the ravages of Alzheimer's disease. Track the type of health resources that are available to undocumented immigrants. Explore the history of our country's national parks. Help build a telescope that gathers data that will tell us what happened at the beginning of the universe. Use modern technology to map the path that the slave Frederick Douglass used to escape to freedom. Design and construct a Ming Dynasty rocket that was mentioned in Chinese military documents from the 14th century. Produce a documentary that uncovers little-known stories about the lives of Asian Americans. Use E. coli cells to better understand cellular workings that lead to disease. And all of those things are actual projects that our undergraduate students have done, and that is just scratching the surface. Now I want each of you to think about a topic that you are curious about. I guarantee that if you focus on getting involved and sharing ideas, you will find a way here to explore that topic in multiple ways. There's a lot for you to look forward to in the coming months and years that you will spend at Johns Hopkins, so get ready to discover. And now gives me great pleasure to introduce my colleague, Dean Ed Schlesinger, the Benjamin T. Rome Dean of the Whiting School of Engineering.
So it is really a pleasure to welcome you all to Johns Hopkins as new students, the class of 2022, the transfer students, and to say a few words about one of the things that's really, really wonderful about Hopkins. And it has nothing to do with mutant rabbits, giant squids, or dating services. It is that no matter what you study here, whether you're an engineer or a sociologist or a scientist or a humanist, you have opportunities to explore beyond the boundaries of your major, and you need to take classes across JHU divisions and broaden your knowledge. And it's very important to do so because the world is not divided into discrete academic disciplines. Just as policymakers need to understand the policies, the possibilities that new technologies bring to society, so too do computer scientists and engineers need to understand that society and all of its complexities in which those technologies will be deployed. Why? Because there are profoundly important issues that we will have to deal with across multiple disciplines as our society changes dramatically that simply don't fit into convenient disciplinary packages. Consider that just a few years from now, you're not out shopping for your first self-driving car. You just called Lyft, and an autonomous car arrives to take you to where you want to go. The car you'll be in will be able to learn and adapt as it makes decisions. It'll know about upcoming congestion, potholes, highway construction, and other possible traffic impediments. It will maximize fuel efficiency. It'll be communicating with all the other cars on the road to optimize the decisions it makes. And it will have to make decisions about the value of your life versus the value of the life of others. So you'll have a decision to make. Will you get into a car that is programmed in a situation in which a high-speed collision is inevitable, probably because of the few human drivers still on the road, based on the continuous analysis of the data it's gathering about your surroundings, speed and driving conditions, to swerve into a guardrail and sacrifice your life while sparing the lives of 3 pedestrians standing on the sidewalk? Will you get into this car? Is that an equation you can solve? It's pretty simple arithmetic, and someone or something already will have done that calculation. It will have been determined when the program was written, and it was decided perhaps that 3 lives are more valuable than 1. Consider another scenario. A patient is in a hospital ICU. Intelligent machines are monitoring heart rate, blood pressure, oxygen saturation, and more. And these intelligent systems synthesize and sense all of this information and conclude that something is wrong. Should a doctor receive the alert, come to the ICU, and determine what course of action to take? Or should the machine make the decision immediately, autonomously, without human intervention? Will we have the trust and a sense of confidence or assurance that it will make the right decision? Does your answer change when you're imagining it's you who's in the ICU versus some hypothetical stranger, or if you are the doctor, or if you are the insurer? Our world is changing rapidly in areas of national security, consumer products, hospital systems, entertainment, and business of every kind. Even our language is changing as something as simple as machine no longer is limited to some mechanical electrical device, but is more than likely something that is intelligent or thinks in some sense of how we understand those words. And while engineers and computer scientists and clinicians and mathematicians and data scientists may build the machines that make these decisions, take action, provide service, and that have the potential to enhance the human condition, there are equally important ethical judgments, policymakers, legal frameworks, political considerations, economics that will all factor into these scenarios and that will guide how technology is deployed, used, limited, or incorporated into our world. My point in telling you all this is that I want you to understand that none of you, regardless of your major or your eventual professional path, can or will act alone in the development of this world and this society. The kinds of changes that technology is making happen are going to lead to new laws, new policies, the creation of new industries, great benefits, and great challenges. We will need ethicists, attorneys, artists, economists, teachers, and yes, dare I say it, even politicians, and more, as well as engineers and the technology developers. And this is true for addressing all of the issues that are facing our society, whether climate change or rising healthcare costs, our cities' infrastructures, or the technological challenges to our democracy. These issues will require all of you working in partnership, feeding off each other's expertise and points of view. And Johns Hopkins is the place where this kind of collaboration flourishes. Over the next 4 years, as you further define your academic and professional interests, I urge you to explore beyond the boundaries of your department or your major. Take a few classes that force you out of your comfort zone, and when you're confronted with and presented with tough problems, look beyond the obvious solutions and seek out new perspective, new ideas, and new ways of thinking about those problems and their solutions. You have amazing resources at your disposal, world-class facilities, and incredible breadth and depth of expertise to draw upon, not only in your school, but across the university's divisions, and from beyond our campus with our alumni who want to be involved with your success here, now, and after you graduate. And you have each other. Now is the time, and Johns Hopkins is the place to be, to ask questions that may never have been asked before and create solutions that are unimagined as of yet, and to use your knowledge to solve problems with passion and creativity together. Welcome to Johns Hopkins.
At this time, I'd like to welcome Vice Provost Kevin Schollenberger.
I actually wish you could all stand up here and see how great you look. We are excited to have you join our Blue Jay family, and this ceremony, Convocation, officially ends new student orientation. So our goal this week was to equip you with the most fundamental tools to start your JHU careers with confidence. We hope that you met interesting people, explored our campus, our city, and that you're ready and excited to start classes tomorrow. Yes? But be assured this is only the beginning. From here, your Hopkins experience is yours to create. You will find countless opportunities to deepen your understanding of yourselves, your peers, and the world around you. And you heard very familiar themes with all the speakers today. I encourage you to engage in discussions, ask questions, and connect with classmates who have different perspectives and life experiences. These conversations may not always be comfortable, but are valuable learning moments. We thrive and grow as a community when we grant each other the freedom to express ourselves. Our faculty and our staff are always here to support you, and we have a variety of programs dedicated to your mental and physical health. But I really hope that you will feel empowered to seek assistance when you need it and to balance the rigors of the academic experience while taking time to reflect, recharge, and attend to your own personal well-being. Most of all, I hope you find what excites you, that you find courses and activities that inspire you, that you seek out experiences both in and out of the classroom that not only play to your strengths, but also reveal opportunities for growth. And these pursuits, you have endless pursuits to choose from, whether honing your leadership skills in approximately 400 clubs and organizations on campus, exploring the political and social complexities of Baltimore and other urban areas through the Center for Social Concern, developing your presentation and interview skills through our career academies, or contributing your voice and identity to the inclusion workshops sponsored by the Office of Multicultural Affairs, or one of the many other programs offered by our diversity and inclusion offices. Whatever path you choose, I wish you success in your journey and enjoy your time at Hopkins and all that it has to offer you. And remember to take time and reflect on the things that you've learned. So whether you're embarking on your first year of college or have recently transferred to Hopkins, the community you joined this week is one that you will be part of for the rest of your life. So we're all excited to share that experience with you, and I'm going to actually ask the stage party to please stand and officially welcome our newest Blue Jays.
Please remain standing. Get back up. Sorry. I'll just wait. Yeah, well, so we thank you. Okay. We thank you for your presence here tonight, and we wish all of you a great year here at Johns Hopkins. At this time, please join us in singing the new adaptation of the Johns Hopkins University Ode. The words can be found on the screen and in your program. Please stand.
Please be seated. I'd like to make a formal announcement. The Johns Hopkins University does not confirm or deny the existence of intelligent squid or mutant rabbits. We thank you all for joining us here today and wish everyone the utmost success at the university. I have a couple of announcements before we conclude. Everyone in attendance this evening is invited to a reception immediately following the recessional. The reception will be held at the opposite end of the gymnasium. During the recessional, the students are asked to remain seated until the recession of the principals, officials, members of the faculty is complete. This convocation ceremony is now adjourned.
Thank you.